On January 2nd, 2023, a family of four was driving through scenic Highway 1, admiring the coast to cap off a fun-filled holiday visit to the Bay Area. What started as an innocent family road trip ended in a harrowing car crash, diving off the side of a cliff on a winding road aptly named the Devil's Slide, notorious for its breathless views and sharp drop-off. But before you jump ahead, this story has not one, but two surprise twists that will first uplift you, then later horrify you. Just know that at the conclusion of today's video, you'll understand why miracles don't always lead to a happy ending, because the devil always gets his victims, one way or another. Stay to the end, and we'll show you the actual CHP footage of the wreckage recovery, which takes on an eerie new meaning when you learn the shocking revelations revealed in today's story. Before we get any further, welcome to JAWjabbers. So glad you're here. We're kicking off the year with a story ripped from the headlines. If you're a fan of the strange and the mysterious, or obsessed with crimes perpetrated by those sworn to save lives, we got you covered. Support the channel by convincing the like and subscribe button to work a double for you at the hospital, but conveniently forget to mention he'd be getting the next 3 trauma admissions. Now if you're feeling especially aggro, pat on our Patreon page for some milk money. Alright, back to our video. Cliffside driving in bad weather, never a good idea. Slippery roads, high winds, and low visibility from rain, snow, or fog all make for adverse driving conditions and increase your chances of losing control. Accidents that occur in bad weather multiply the likelihood of trauma or loss of life exponentially. When the Patel family decided to take a road trip up Highway 1, they felt fairly confident this was their best and only chance to tour the beautiful coastal cliffs of Northern California before heading back south to Pasadena. Unfortunately, over the New Year holiday weekend, various parts of California were hit hard with record rain and heavy winds. As a result, flash flooding had been reported across the San Francisco Bay Area, including the San Mateo and Sacramento counties. By Sunday, the worst of it had passed, which brought a small window of clear skies on Monday, the day of the Patel's drive, before a bomb cyclone was expected to hit on Wednesday. Dr. Dharmesh Patel, a doctor at Providence Holy Cross Medical Center in Mission Hills, had seen his fair share of broken bones. Being a radiologist, he had interpreted countless x-rays of trauma patients after an accident, so he was keenly aware of the dangers of driving in bad weather. But he assured his wife Nia and their 2 kids, 4-year-old son and 7-year-old daughter, that it would be absolutely safe driving their Tesla Model Y despite these less than ideal circumstances. After all, Tesla boasted making the safest cars in the world, earning 5-star ratings in every subcategory of the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration crash tests, the absolute maximum any car can score. Tesla claimed the Model Y has the lowest probability of injury of all cars ever tested, with a rollover risk of only 7.9%, the lowest of any SUV. So you can surely bet, if there's one car you want to be in during bad weather, it's the Model Y. It'll take one epic car crash for any harm to come to its occupants. Dr. Patel enjoyed a good drive, so it was hard to resist not getting out there. Yesterday's wet roads had patches of dry now that the sun crept out behind the rain clouds. He remembered those carefree days, before the kids, when he and his wife Nia would take day trips out to the beach for a picnic. It was spontaneous, it was fun, they were young and happy, but there was so little time for that now. Between his busy hospital schedule and the kids' activities, any chance to escape into nature was precious. Every now and again, Dr. Patel pointed out the gorgeous shoreline to Neha, but she much rather he'd keep his eyes on the road. She wasn't keen about driving after a storm, but once again, Dharmesh won. The kids were in the back busying themselves with a game of I Spy, when they spied with their little eye an old beat-up Corolla just ahead of them. In the driver's seat of that Corolla was Robin Johnson, who was heading into the city towards Pacifica when she noticed the kids in her rear view, laughing and pointing. What really caught her eye was their beautiful pearl-white Tesla. She had heard all about the Tesla's full self-driving autopilot capabilities and was curious if they had it on this stretch of road. She wouldn't dare trust a car drive itself on normal city streets, let alone a wet, windy road like this. It was not something she nor her anxiety could stomach. And at that moment, as if on cue, what she witnessed next shook her to her core. As Robin slowed down for a sharp turn, she noticed something curious. The Patels were doing the exact opposite. They were speeding up, in a straight line. Under her breath, she whispered, "Turn your wheel." Turn your wheel, as if effecting some sort of Jedi mind trick. But they kept driving faster and faster, till they drove straight off the cliff, disappearing behind her. She gasped. Her car veered off the road, narrowly missing the jagged rocks beside her, as she did a double take. Did that just happen? Did they just run off the highway? Robin dialed 911 and reported what she saw in a breathless, panicked voice. Multiple agencies responded to the report that a vehicle went off the 250-foot cliff at Devil's Slide. First responders across San Mateo County, including CHP Air Ops, CAL FIRE, American Medical Response, and the county sheriff's office, arrived on scene, expecting to do body retrieval. Battalion Chief Brian Bodinger of Coastside CAL FIRE had seen one too many of these accidents, and the ending was always fatal. CHP Helicopter 30 did a flyby to assess the situation. Eyes on the field called in over the radio with mixed excitement and disbelief. They sighted over binoculars hand movement in the rear passenger seats. It was a bona fide holiday miracle. Actual survivors. As they flew closer, it was confirmed that 2 adults and 2 children were trapped inside. What started as a retrieval op now became a rescue mission. It was a race against the oncoming high tides. Firefighters rappelled down, nearly maxing out their 300-foot ropes, and rescued the 2 children with minor injuries first. It was up to CHP H-30 to rescue the adults. They lowered an El Cerrito rescue tech down. The Patel's Model Y had landed upright, wheels down on the wet rocks 200 feet down the sheer cliffside, barely missing the Pacific Ocean. Their windows were blown out, but the car's titanium frame was intact. After using jaws of life to cut the adults out, CHP H-30 hoisted them up from the water's edge. The Patels were transferred to the Stanford Life Flight helicopter and flown to the hospital for major but non-life-threatening injuries. News of the Patels' miraculous survival story made national headlines and touted the Model Y's amazing durability. One day after, on Tuesday, their story took a dark turn as CHP announced the results of their investigation. Apparently, at the time of the accident, the Model Y's autopilot was not engaged, and the road conditions were free of rain. The drive off the cliff was not an accident. It was intentional. CHP announced they planned to arrest 42-year-old Dr. Dharmesh Patel for the attempted murder of his wife and 2 kids as soon as he was medically stable for hospital discharge. Until then, Dr. Patel was placed under custody and shackled to his hospital bed, placed under 24-hour surveillance. Questions swarmed about Dr. Patel's motives. How did his seemingly devoted husband and father, and a medical professional no less, sworn to protect lives, decide to take lives instead, including his own families? Was it a crime of passion? Was it abuse? Neighbor Roger Newmark spoke glowingly of the family who had moved in 5 years ago, and was shocked to hear about the crazy turn of events. As more revelations surfaced, it was revealed that the Patels were plagued by multiple police visits to their home since 2017. The 9 callouts to the Patel home were for reports of suspicious persons and false burglary alarms, but none were reported as domestic disturbances. We can only speculate why the panic alarm was activated inside their home 9 different times, perhaps as a last-ditch effort to de-escalate a potentially heated argument. But who's to say? In the end, Dr. Patel achieved exactly what he intended to do on January 2nd, a day of miracles that ended in tragedy when he let the devil take the wheel. We hope you enjoyed the video. Comment below and let us know if you have the balls to turn on autopilot on a cliffside road. Support the channel by asking the like and subscribe button to work a double for you at the hospital, but conveniently forget to mention they'd be getting the next 3 trauma admissions. Alright, see you next time.